Welcome back to What Are Noobs with General Disturbance. This is the T92 HMC, the Tier 10 American SPG. It's located on the south spawn of Steps, and this one is under the command of Ignac. Yes, we saw him last time in an Object 261, now he's in the T92, and this battle he's actually got somebody with him, Call Me Tomic, and he's in the EBR 105, and he's going to spot. Game on! Tomic's headed off west. I think he's probably going to go down the gully. Yep, he's going to have a quick look. In the meantime, Call Me Ignac is getting to the back of the map. Now, they only built 5 of these beasts. They were going to build more, but the Japan surrendered before they could actually put them into use. It's basically a 24cm howitzer mounted on top of a Pershing hull, the T26 E3. Okay, well, Tomic did spot some enemy. It's hiding behind one of the bushes a little further back. We're looking for the enemy. Now, we fired around in... Oh, he got a blind kill! The Manticore was hiding behind that bush. And he just wiped him out without even spotting him. The Manticore player is going to be really upset about that. I mean, super upset. He goes behind a bush thinking, I'm nice and safe here. Nobody knows where I am. And all of a sudden, zap, out of nowhere, the artillery shell comes down. Now, I've done that myself so many times, and it's absolutely hilarious for the Arty player when you do that. You blind kill someone. You just work out, you know where the enemy is likely to be, and you put the shell where he's most likely to be, and he gets nuked. Standard reload is 46.98 seconds. He's trying to select his next target. That's probably the best one he can go for, because the Heshbarn is actually very thin on armor, but he loses sight of him. Instead, he's going to go for this Gorilla 15, because he'll probably be able to pen that guy. Oh, loses sight of the main body, but oh, he hit him! Oh my God, look at that hit, 1,439. That is a penetrating shot. The alpha on this round is 1,100. So he got him for a high roll. He didn't kill him, but he's left him on nothing. Unfortunately, Call Me Tomic is out of the game. Unfortunately, he was found by the enemy and taken out. So we can't rely on his spotting anymore. But he did give us the opportunity. Well, he went up the gully and we did get a kill from the gully. Direct hit on the Bosch. 380. Didn't go through the armor, but he's turning around, getting ready to fire from a good position. Avoids counter battery. All you have to do is move a short distance. In fact, it looks to me like he's decided he's going to go down the east side of the map, and with good reason. We've only got one tank really holding back the enemy horde on the west side of the map, and that's an Object 279E, or maybe a Jaeger as well. But yes, he's actually got that in mind, and he's now turning to shoot because he's almost loaded. And the enemy just killed our Jaegeru. I would have said actually, oh no, he's right to look here, because there are some enemy tanks up the north end of the map, and they're being chased by our team. Rounds out. Oh, another direct hit into the rear of the Object 430U for 424. Again, didn't penetrate, but that 430U got wiped out a second later by our Object 780, so that was a very good selection. He basically picked on a retreating enemy and gave him what for. Okay, what we've got going over on the west side of the map is that some of the enemy are now retreating to get back to their own cap area to protect it, because they know it's being overrun. And in the meantime, we're going to put a round in, see if we can shake up some of these enemy. Going for the 277. It's a blind shot now because we can't see them, but I suspect that probably would have stunned the 277, because the stun radius of this Arty is actually quite high. You'll see it's 12.4 meters radius, so yeah, quite a large area. Now, our team are now starting to suffer, although we do tend to have the territory around their cap area, and they still haven't managed to make it to our cap. We did lose the Object 279. The enemy effectively are now focusing on keeping their own cap. And Ignac is going to go for the 60 TP, I think. He's working out the guy's going to go back. He goes back a little bit. And he gets some splash, 137. The enemy Arty's having to retreat down the west side of the map to avoid being taken out by our own guys. You can see the bat chap 155.58 is racing away. He doesn't like what's going on. Unfortunately, there's nobody left between us and the E100, although we do have a T100 LT coming down the gully, as well as a TVP T5051, and they should be able to protect us from that E100, but Ignac's going to slow him down a little if we can. He decided to pull back. We can get a shot that time. Well, we stunned him, and that's going to help the T100 LT to put some rounds in his rear. In the meantime, we've got a 60 TP who's using his 152mm gun to good effect because he's slowing our guys down and whittling them away one by one. The enemy batch at 155.58 went down to the T100. And he's still trying to kill that E100. He's got him! He finally nailed him, which now means there's only 4 enemies left. They do have one RT. It's an Object 261. Rounds out in the 60 TP. He goes forward. Oh, he takes the round. 545 hit points into his engine deck. The 430 pops up to take a shot. And that 60 TP is now being hit by our teammate in the other RT, who's in an Object 261. T100 LT's after a Pascucci's. He's found the enemy Object 261, and I think he wants that kill and the medal. And he got him. So now we're trying to take out this Object 277. He's pushing on our 780. And he just got hit. Now, can we put a round in there? Rounds out. Unfortunately, all we can get some stun and a bit of splash. Too late to save our 780. There's 4 left on our team, 3 on the enemy team. But we've got 2 RTs. They've only got 3 heavy tanks. All of them fairly badly damaged. There's a positive balance on our hit points. But it's mostly down to the Arty, who haven't really been hit yet. Or haven't been hit at all. Okay, we're going to go for the 277. Now, can we put some hurt on him? No, the 60 TP, he's a one-shot. He's a splash kill. Rounds out. Looks good. Yep, that's a kill. That shell was very effective. Both Arty are having a great game so far. Although it is Ignac who's the only one who's actually got kills. They're both actually hitting the enemy. Okay, the Object 277 is the next target. But we're relying on the 430U and the T100 LT to keep them spotted so we can do some damage. Then they can nail them the moment we've stunned them. Okay, 277's next. We're only seconds away from reloading. Just need to make the shell. Oh, he's just been stunned by the 261. So we're loaded. It's the other side of the battlefield, so it's at least 2 seconds, maybe 3 seconds. Rounds out, looks good. Yes! Right into him for 462. Makes him a one-shot. The Object 430U, even though he's only got 1 hit point left, he could get that 277. Oh, the 261 gets him instead. And we pick up the stun assist. And there's the last enemy. It's an Object 277 with very low hit points. I think that was the one who was up here killing our 780, and he's all that's left. Both of our teammates are rushing to try and get there first, although they're very low on hit points. The 277's been found. He puts one into the T100 LT, who gets behind him and finishes him off to win the game. Some people have said in the past that I rather regard this almost like a football game, and it is exciting. It is a game, and it is exciting indeed. And yes, especially when your team is doing so well. And Ignac had a great game in the T92 HMC because he got an ace tanker out of that one, as well as a bruiser medal for getting at least 5 critical hits. In fact, he got 12. And he got a Gauze medal as well for doing more damage, exceeding 8 times the hit points of his own vehicle in damage. And yep, this battle took place yesterday. Let's have a look at the team score and see where he was. Well, he definitely got the highest damage on his team, but he didn't get the highest damage overall. The E100 on the enemy team got 5,411 hit points, but didn't get a high caliber because it wasn't 20% of the enemy hit pool. The second highest damage went to Ignac with 5,027, so he wasn't far behind. And the third highest damage went to that Object 277, who got 4,629. When it came to kills, it was the T100 LT and the E100. They both got 5 kills apiece. The T100 LT was running around the battlefield at high speed trying to do his best. He got a Pascucci's medal as well because he killed 2 of the enemy Arty. Well, there was only 2, the Batchat 155-58 and their Object 261. So well done to him to actually chase those ones down, especially after dealing with the E100, who was their best player. So yeah, doubly well done. And of course, remember, he was the one who also got the final kill of the game that took out the Object 277. Second place goes to the Object 780. Unfortunately, he got killed by the 277. He got 3 kills. And then 2 kills went to Ignac, the Object 277 on his own team. The Object 277s on both of the enemy team, both 277s, both got 2 kills apiece. When it came to base XP, it's the T100. Yes, he was spotting as well as damaging, and that's why he did so well out of that game. 1,222 for him. He was the only player to get over 1,000. The Object 780 got 988, and Ignac was just behind him with 979, with the next player, the Object 279, who put up a very good defense for a long time to stop the enemy getting to our cap area, and he picked up 810, so there's a bit of a gap there between him and Ignac. Ignac fired 12 rounds in that game, got 6 direct hits on the enemy and 2 penetrations. Pretty sure that the first penetration was the Gorilla 15 right at the start of the game because he whacked that guy and got a big, heavy roll. Look at that. 1,439 hit points from that pen. The second pen was the Manticore, the first kill of the game. The guy was hiding in a bush. He never had any chance to survive. 1,470 hit points, a one-shot kill on the Manticore hiding in the bush. Yeah, I think he was probably a little disappointed that he didn't get anything else. But he was wiped out very quickly because he went to somewhere where Ignac knew where to fire. You just hide behind the bushes and you will get shot at. Anyway, let's have a look at the rest of the details. 9 splashes on the enemy as well, 5,027 hit points of damage, all of it done at more than 300 meters. He damaged 7 of the enemy, killed 2, so he missed out on a Confederate simply because there wasn't a big enough difference there. 2,494 hit points of stun assist off 8 stuns. He earned 57,470 credits from the game, 21,551 from battle payments, a total of 116,377 credits altogether. And after repairs, ammunition, resupply and consumables, well, there wasn't any repairs as such, but he still made a profit of 45,517 credits, even though these shells are really expensive and he also had consumables. 979 XP times 2 for the first victory, 220 for playing in the platoon, and took away 3,158 experience points altogether. We'll just have a quick look to see how his friend got on in the EBR. Unfortunately, he was killed early in the game. Call me Tomek. He did pick up 332 hit points of damage, so he did get a couple of shots off, and one of them was a pen, but he received 3 hits the moment he was spotted and was wiped out fairly quickly. He did spot 4 enemy vehicles though, and 2 enemy vehicles were damaged by his shots. So yeah, unfortunate that he actually also went to a spotting bush where the enemy expected he might be there, and they killed him the moment that he fired. So there you go for Call Me Tomek. I hope you enjoyed that replay. The T92 is quite a tank. It's a difficult tank to get an ace tanker in because you really have to do a huge amount of damage if you're going to. Let's have a quick look at the armor profile for this thing. It's basically a Pershing tank, or a medium tank, a heavy medium, with a very, very big howitzer on top. The reason why they actually did this was because the 24 centimeter howitzer was actually quite difficult to maneuver around, and so they needed something which could actually carry it into battle. So they decided on the Pershing hull, to the T26 E3 hull, to be the carrying vehicle, and they were well into production of these vehicles when, of course, the war ended. You can see the armor is fairly good at the front, 25.4 millimeters, and with the angling it comes up to about 50. You can see the engine deck there. Well, it's going to bounce off that, but it's only 22.2 there. 12.7 on the sides, 12.7 on the gun shield. Yeah, it's fairly thin on armor because, of course, the howitzer is incredibly heavy. So really, ideally, if you're going to shoot one of these, you want to go for the gun shield. That's the easiest thing because it is basically very porous indeed. But the rest of the tank is fairly porous as well. They were trying to cut the weight on the actual vehicle so it could carry that extra weight of the howitzer. It used to be known as King Kong as well. That's one of the reasons why, of course, the movie King Kong, but because it was just so big. Anyway, let's have a quick look at the modules. Engine up front. Again, they move the engine forward to counterbalance the howitzer weight. The driver's on the right hand side, gunners or driver's mate on the left hand side, or machine gunner. Transmission in front of them. Fuel tanks either side of the main engine. You can see the ammo racks, tiny little things here right next door to the howitzer, just inside the gun shield. That's why it's a good idea to aim for the gun shield, because you might set those off. There's the radio. There's the tank commander in the vehicle, yeah, next to the loaders, and on the other side is the gunner. So if you aim for the rear of the vehicle, you're going to take out the crew. If you aim for the front of the gun shield, you're going to get the ammo rack potentially. If you aim for the hull of the vehicle, you're probably going to get the engine and the fuel tanks. That's where all the modules are on the T92 HMC. So I hope you enjoyed that replay. If you did, please give this video a like. Do subscribe to our channel. Leave a little comment down below because it feeds the algorithm, gets this video noticed by other people. And thank you for watching.